Hello and welcome to week 18 of 52 weeks of storytelling. I'm so excited. I might be a little scared. That's a little spoiler about what our prompt is today. So, first, what the heck is 52 weeks of storytelling? 52 weeks of storytelling is my take on how we can tell our story in a year, basically. So, if you go back and you watch the last 17 episodes, and the ones coming after this one, you'll have the opportunity to write 52 pages of your story. We're talking about 52 prompts with all of the walkthrough of how to write about each prompt, including a story example, my own story example, all about me, so you get to learn about me in each episode. And that's what we're doing. So if you have someone you have been thinking about working with to help them tell their life story, or you have wanted to start your own book, your own memoir, you can do that with this video series. Everything is free, it's available. There is an opportunity to grab a journal if that is something that you would like to do. You can grab a printed journal off of Amazon. There's also a PDF printable opportunity on Etsy. You can find links to those in the description of this video. With that, I want to walk you through the legacy storytelling method. This is how I coach and train people to tell stories. It gives people an opportunity to answer questions in a very specific fashion and it usually leads to, you guessed it, easier, better storytelling. So, we start with the 5 W's. We have who, what, when, where, and why, in that order. The first 4 are pretty self-explanatory. The last one usually trips people up. So the why in my world is why this moment happened. How did you get here? What was happening that got you to this memory? The next set of questions have to do with digging deeper. So we're talking about feelings and impact and what we want people to remember about this moment. So the first question is along the lines of, how did you feel about this memory? How do you feel about it now? How did you feel about it then? Did it have an impact on you? Did it change the trajectory of your life? And then what do you want people to remember about this moment? By the time you get to this last question, usually you have a pretty good idea of what you want to say. And if you're having this storytelling conversation with someone else, you would be amazed at the transformation and what happens when you have a conversation this way. Now for our weekly prompt. Okay, are you ready? I'm so scared. Not really, but we're talking about the greatest Halloween fright ever. It doesn't matter when you're watching this video, even if you're watching it in April or like the summer, there may be, maybe not, but there might be a moment where there was a Halloween moment that was super duper scary. If you don't celebrate Halloween or it's not something you observe, think about a moment that was super scary, but it was like maybe in a fun way. So that is what I wanted to have people think about as a prompt today. It's not something we usually talk about, and sometimes with these particular kinds of memories, especially with Halloween, specifically in the States and in some other countries, that it's very much tied to childhood. So if you or your person you're working with remembers their childhood, this usually has pretty specific things that will pop up and that they'll remember, which leads to some really epic storytelling conversations and maybe in some lines of stories and questions that you wouldn't normally have asked or heard about. So that's the prompt. I'm going to give you a story example and a walk through how the words flow. So the story example is, I'm going to use I was thinking about what to do, so I don't really have like some really scary ones because I don't do scares very well. It's not one of my favorite things. I also don't watch scary movies. I can read scary books, but watching scary movies is like not so good. I don't watch horror very often. So from a scared standpoint, oh my gosh. So my teenager has been every year working in a corn maze locally, and there's a whole thing that happens. There's a theme. They build their characters, and they get to dress up, and they like pick their own costume and this whole thing. And so she has this whole every year, whatever she picks you have to pick something to like scare people with, and then she practices it at home on me. That's what happens. So every year for the past few years, the entire month of September and October are amazing because I get scared like almost every day. And so the who in this situation is my teenager, and the what is that she works on her character and she scares the crap out of me. And it usually happens in September and October, and it happens every year. It'll happen every year, maybe till she goes to college, and then I'm sure she'll miss it, or wherever she's going to end up going. So how do I feel about it? Usually I feel I know it's coming, like I know she's gonna do it, but it's still like I jump out of my skin, and so it's like it's very jarring. She loves it, and everybody laughs, and which is good. Like it's all good natured. And when I'm really really done, I can say stop, and then she'll stop. So impact. It's meant that there are. Um, she's gotten to have like this theater experience that she wouldn't have gotten to have because just of a variety of things. So I've loved being able to see her get excited about these different characters. She gets to like pick up, she makes a backstory, she creates a whole world around it, and then decides what her thing's going to be that she's going to scare people with in her costume. And it's just, that part's really really cool. And what I want people to remember is that you can build characters and build worlds and do scary things. It can be in a simple way as working in a corn maze or building characters around imaginative play, which really this is like a little bit more grown up imaginative play, which I think is amazing. So, that is my story example for you today. I hope this has helped you find something to think about, share, and I encourage you to go share it with someone you love. I hope that this has helped you write some part of your story. Don't forget to check back for more, check the playlist, and grab your journals. With that, I hope you have an incredibly wonderful day. And until we talk again, happy writing.